Hi everyone, we're back again with this short video which has been produced to help with questions that may appear in the SQA, the Scottish Qualification Authorities exam for the Higher Physics course. We have moved on to electricity in this clip, and specifically monitoring and measuring AC is the topic this question might come from. So here's the question that may appear in section 1 of the paper. The peak voltage supplied into a circuit is noted as √2 volts, and the root mean square current is √5 amps. Which combination show the correct values for the peak current and the root mean square voltage? And then we are given some values that we have to choose from. So this is one of those questions that I think just looks scary. There are just some terminologies. Every time you put subscripts onto letters, it can just throw me off. And then you see square roots and it becomes terrifying. But remember, there is nothing you haven't learned here, and there are always things we can do to try and make it easier. So read the question closely, pick out the things we're being asked about. We're being asked to find two values, the peak current and the root mean square voltage. Look at the options to see if there's anything obvious we can ignore. I would say there isn't here because it just looks terrifying. Try and recall the part of the course that you learned about this in. It might help rule other things out. And just read the question again slowly and confidently without overcomplicating your approach. So the question is asking for a calculation of two values. And so the first stop I would make, if it doesn't come straight into your head, is the data sheet and the equations to see if there's anything that lines up with the values we're given. And in fact, two equations do stick out from the data sheet that cover exactly what we're being asked for. We know two of these that have been given in the question. We know this one, we're asked for this one. I think we know this one and we're asked for this one. So this question turns out to actually be, although it was scary on reading it, fairly simple plug and play after we've checked the data sheets. So let's do that. If we plug in the values for the root mean square, that's the peak over √2. So we can calculate that. And then we need to rearrange the peak current one so that root mean square current is on the right hand side. But again, we can plug in the values there. And what we find when we work it out is that in fact C is our answer. And a quick look at just the voltage one on its own would have shown that we're probably talking about √2 over √2. That doesn't need much of a calculation. We know that will come out as 1, and there's only one answer that shows 1 volt. So we perhaps didn't even need to calculate the I peak part because we got the answer from the root mean square voltage. But let's cover all bases and make sure we can do both. Things to note here, this was a recall of learning, or skip to the data sheet and see if you can pick suitable equations that might help you. And we can add in a diagram if we need to, but we generally don't need to in this instance. Some more problems for you to work on. Pause the video, go have a go at those. The answers on the High page or the website. And once again, thanks for joining.